Thank you for joining us. This is The Economy with me, Ibrahim Sani. Let's take a look into AI, artificial intelligence, and how it is shaping payments and transactions online. Very recently, Adyen Payments have just issued a report showing that 58% of Malaysians now use artificial intelligence to shop, surpassing global average. While this may come as no surprise to our audience, it's also trying to understand a little bit better in terms of why this situation is currently happening and at which segment and sector that is most impacting, and how does this relate to you, and perhaps how can you leverage on this trend and see how you can grow your own enterprises and businesses together. Joining me is none other than a good friend of the show, Soon Yean, the Country Manager of Adyen Malaysia. Soon Yean, let's talk a little bit more in terms of the report that we just saw. It shows that Malaysian shoppers are increasingly embracing AI, and this is well ahead of the global average, where only 37% of consumer reports using AI in their shopping journey, against 58% of Malaysians. That's nearly a third.
Yep.
So what classifies the concept of using AI to shop? Let's start off with that first.
Yeah, I think before we talk about how AI is helping, right, maybe we take one step back and say, what do consumers want? Right? At the end of the day, consumers, they're out there shopping, and you think about given the current situation with economy, there's a bit of pressure in terms of spending. People tend to be a bit more diligent. They want to be more informed. They want to have choices. So, and you fast forward it back to now, right? What happens is, what are the tools out there that would help them in order to make that decision? And when we think about it, yes, it used to be a Google search, it used to be surfing through different mobile apps or different brands and all. But now with AI, it's much more convenient because the tools actually help them do what they've been doing manually and cut through all the noises, cut through all the sales biases, all the advertising and all. And it's because it's AI, right? It's artificial intelligence. It is able to do more than just taking an instruction. It is actually understanding what the user is asking for, and is actually prompting questions to find out more. What do you want to know about this product? And able to present it back to the consumer in a much more informative way, much more meaningful way that they can make a decision. That can be very, very enticing for a consumer because it cuts down my time. It also helps me filter through all the noises.
You know, I attended the CES, the Consumer Electronics Showcase in Las Vegas in 2015, maybe 2016, close to 10 years ago, if not 10 years ago. The Consumer Electronics Showcase at that point in time shows brands like Samsung, like Sharp and the like. They say that the fridge will never be empty, quite literally. So if the fridge is smart enough to know that, you know, you buy staples like milk, eggs, and which type of eggs, yes, and what brand of milk that you like, and so on, when the level goes low, the process is that it gets replenished accordingly.
Yes.
And you know, you just need to buy the vanity products or the items that you might not necessarily use on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And it was revolutionary 10 years ago. Have we arrived at that stage in 2025 where people just, you know, whatever that they need is already there because of the AI enablement?
So from the report, what the consumers are telling us, right, more than half of them are actually using AI tools or AI chatbots to do the assistance on it. But if you think about it, you and me as a consumer, we are still prompting them, we are still having conversations. But what the market is doing now, what we see is that eventually something called agentic commerce is going to come into play, whereby it's a new channel. We talk about what happened in the past, whereby first we have physical stores, and then online shopping came, and then marketplaces like Lazada and Shopee came, and then brands started building their own mobile app to engage with the customer better. These are basically all different sales channels that interact with consumers in different ways, but not necessarily different. They are serving them, right? They're serving them, they are actually serving the purpose that the consumers are looking for. I'm trying to find a certain product, I'm trying to find it at the best offer, I'm trying to make sure that I can check out and get the products in the way that I want. Either I'm going to go into the store to buy it and try it, or I'm going to buy online and have it delivered to my house at my whichever convenience I'm looking for.
I'm assuming agentic commerce is actually an extension or a subset of agentic AI, where artificial intelligence tools can actually set goals, set directions, step-by-step processes with minimal human intervention. So it's part of that element of...
Eventually it's going to get to this other sales channel whereby if you see a lot of people interacting with the chatbots, then companies want to think about, hey, how do I bring that shopping process into that chatbot, right? So that's where agentic commerce will happen. Regardless of what platform a consumer is using, it could be different AI tools, it could be AI tools that's provided by the retailer brands themselves, but they will try to complete the transaction within the same channel. So,
how do we address skepticism and suspicion on the backdrop of hallucination as well? And while we understand that the tools are there and the remarkable efforts that it can achieve, there's still a huge element of it's not distrusting AI. It's like, I want milk, but the AI assistant goes and buys me, you know, goat milk instead of cow milk. You know, it's these kind of things.
It is. I recall one of the movies whereby an AI robot became a caregiver in the house, and the owner actually tweaked a bit of the settings to give them more autonomy, right? They ended up making decisions that the owner didn't want. So I think, but that's fiction, right? But again, this is possible if it's not managed properly. So I would say if consumers and businesses are embracing AI, so would fraudsters and scammers as well. So this is a technology for all. So again, I think what businesses need to do is to ensure that they don't just 100% outsource it to AI to handle the things. Businesses need to continue to be in control. So take for example, if between you and me there's a AI agent that's doing the communication, right? As a business, I want to make sure that I do not lose that relationship with you. I still need to know what are your preferences. I still want to be in communication with you. So again, there needs to be a framework around this. The other part is also when handling payments, right? If you talk about the example of the fridge, and if that fridge is connected to Amazon, so it's going to do the order for you, and the next day you see this fresh milk being delivered to your house and all, you're giving a lot of autonomy to the AI agent to do all these decisions for you. So again, I think there needs to be a framework. So businesses need to know that whatever framework they're building or whatever AI initiative they're doing, they need to continue to ensure that they are providing consumers the trust. They are still in direct relationship with the consumers, and they are still in control in terms of how they want to serve the customer. The AI tools that they're using is just a means of enabling it in a much better way.
So at Adyen, I guess the payments aspect is also a tools to achieve those means, and it will be integrated in the process. If you talk about agentic commerce, it's just part of step number 10 or whatever inside the whole value chain.
And in the whole value chain, right, I think payments sometimes is really underrated, but payments is the most important piece, mainly because if I have decided to buy something, I am at the checkout page, I'm lining up at the counter, it means that I've decided. The only thing that's standing between me and that product is a failed transaction or failed payment. So again, payment is important, right? It's I think from the research as well, we found that consumers say there's more than half of them actually say that they will actually drop off if the checkout process takes too long.
I'm one of them, lah.
Yeah, me as well, given, right?
I mean, we're rational consumers, I suppose.
We've seen what other companies, many companies in the market is capable of. So the moment the other company is behind, we know there's something better. So that's where the expectation is. The speed of things is important. The loading, even the loading page in your website, if it loads too long and eventually become a red color decline, it's also not good for experience. I think most of them say that, hey, if it's taking too long, or I can't pay in the way that I want. For example, one day I decided to use Touch and Go, the other day I decided that I'm going to use my credit card because of points. And if those options are not available, they are very likely to drop off. So yeah.
Let's take a look into consumer behavior changes. Right at the turn of the century, people were very highly skeptical and suspicious of checkout counters online.
Yep.
And I still remember, in my early days of university, being a university student, we had a more laissez-faire attitude, and we just adopted the kind of payments online. And pioneer websites like Mudah and Lelong and the like were the first movers in terms of integrating payment systems on their user interface for us to interact with.
Yeah.
That has long gone. I think our people are now very comfortable with online payments, and then with payments like Apple Pay and the like, with biometric what do you call this, verification. It's rather seamless and highly secure, much more secure than carrying cash in your wallet and walking around with it.
Yeah.
But it took some time for the consumers to actually adopt that. But considering that number in Malaysia, 58%, which means more than half, or at least close to a third now, 2/3 now. Is Malaysia as a society adopting AI, not just for commerce and payments, but is adopting AI much faster and less friction compared to other markets?
Yeah, indeed. I think from the survey, it does show that our average is higher than the whole APAC, all the countries in APAC that we actually surveyed. So that says one thing, right, which is we are very tech-savvy consumers. Not just consumers, but on our day-to-day, right? Take, for example, in China, there was an example whereby they skipped the whole evolution of going into a computer, right? They went straight to the mobile. So I think in many countries also...
I think Africa as well.
Indeed, yeah. Because it's much more easier, and then the tech actually got
they just
imported
this,
in, right?
The laptop and the iPad went straight to mobile.
So in Malaysia, I think when we go through adversary, then we're going to evolve, right? So imagine through the whole lockdown days, whereby things were hard, right? We moved from paying cash to QR codes. We pivoted very fast. So I think the moment you're put into the situation whereby there are better solutions and people are embracing it, it will move very fast. But that depends on three parties, right? One, of course, is the consumer themselves. They have to continue educating themselves, right? When we talk about Mudah, once you met a few more sellers, then you know how to do your due diligence much better, right? The businesses, right? What kind of infrastructure they are doing to ensure that the safety and security is there, the trust is there, right? The PDPAs and all. And then the other thing we say, also government played a very big part in terms of pushing digital payments, putting out framework. We talk about scams. They have set up committees and also hotlines and all. It requires the whole ecosystem to move together. And we came a long way from where we were like 10, 15 years ago as a nation when it comes to digital payments. And it's going to continue to evolve even better.
The way I look at it is the next two areas of growth when it comes to digital payments and AI assistance in terms of how we consume products would be big ticket items that involve, say, for instance, governmental ministries and large corporates where they can transact billions of ringgit in a single transaction, for instance. That's one area that is going to see some hyper growth of digital payments. Another area is on healthcare and insurance, any form of insurance, health insurance, car insurance, whatever. Those two sectors, I don't know what is the adoption rate like when it comes to digital seamless payments. There's still a lot of, say, for instance, for governmental billings, 1,001 verifiers that go along the way. But I'm sure if we have the guts for it, we can just move it over to digital, because what's the difference me going for digital analog signatures of 10 people when I know I can do this digitally in a much more secured fashion through biometrics and so on, if I have cleared you and your colleague as the verifier, or if we go with the payments. But there seems to be some friction in these two spaces. What are your thoughts on my view on this one?
I think so for Adyen, we're very much serving a lot of enterprise customers who serve consumers, right? When it comes to that part that you mentioned, is a bit more of a B2B kind of setup.
Or G2G or G2B, something like that. Yeah.
In general, there is a lot of initiatives, right? There are governments who are talking about digital currencies to speed up the process. There's talk about fast payment. There's talk about PayNet working with different government-linked payment schemes in the other countries to connect, fast payments and instant payments kind of things. It is really positive. Just that I think payments is probably one of the oldest industry.
Yeah.
Right. I think even before there was technology, people were, in the market, in the wet market.
You mean like bartering?
Yes, bartering.
Like one bushel of apple versus one cow, something like that.
So it takes a lot of effort to basically move these infrastructures, right? And it takes a lot of effort from different parties, right? From government to the businesses, as well as the consumers as well, as per what I mentioned, to basically move together and move up. It's it will come. Basically making payments much faster, more seamless. Maybe one day, I mean, like as sometimes I run some business at the side, right? I wouldn't want to give a 30 to 60 day credit term and things like that, right? If instant payment can happen, it makes transaction much more faster. It makes operation more efficient as well. So
this then ties up to my earlier thought when you shared, say for instance, you're the seller and I'm the buyer. You still want to have some sort of connection with me, but on the buyer side, with agentic commerce and with unified AI or unified commerce. The AI will assist me in getting the best product at the cheapest price at the quickest time to deliver those products. And that might not necessarily be you, seller A, it might be seller B. And the sellers would be at a disadvantage because not only do they have to cut prices and increase, shorten fulfillment time, you guys are in competition with each other. So it's a race to the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if, let's say if you talk about retailers, if they can't offer anything else, right, then it's always a promotion, it's always a discount, it's always the race to the bottom, right? I think you take one step back, right? We think about what retailers need to do. Retailers will think about, okay, how do I serve my customer better? It's not just about the cheapest price, right? How do I serve them better? How do I relate my brand to them? How do I give them the best experience that they keep coming back to me? So I think those are key and core to retail. And it's agentic commerce or AI is probably just one of the many channels. We talk about when online shopping happened, maybe the stores will not be relevant, but fast forward 20 years, stores are still there. Stores are still so relevant. We are humans, right? I think if I wanted to buy a fish from the wet market, I need to go and smell it. I need to go and look at the gilly and all, right? It's hard for me to buy it online. If there's a suit that I want to buy, I wouldn't buy it online. Or if there's I think physical stores is still very relevant.
The texture, whatever.
Indeed. So each of these channels serves the customer in different way. Online is for speed and convenience and being omnipresent wherever they are.
Especially on commodity products like eggs or milk or chicken.
Yeah.
But the rest,
So I would say, okay, online channels serve a certain purpose. It could be just to tell you, hey, that stock is available in this store, so maybe you can go there. Or you can immediately, out of convenience, buy it and deliver. So that's one example how one channel serves them. Fast forward, last few years, social commerce came up. Right? People are not too convinced looking at this as a static picture. They want influencers to show them, try it on and all.
You're talking about TikTok Live and the like.
Yeah, and now we are talking about AI being another channel for sales. But all these channels are supplementing each other. So it will not replace, but it's just more channels will start coming up. Some channels will die, some channels continue to evolve, but they are always relevant in different ways because they serve different function in the whole retail process.
Now talk to me about unified commerce and the idea of it.
Okay, so we talk about businesses who say, hey, I have a website, I have a mobile app. Let's say I build an agentic commerce, I have an AI agent that helps with the shopping process and all. I have a storefront, and I'm actually omni-channel. I am present in many channels, but I'm not necessarily unified. So buying online, you have to return it online through Ninja Van. You can't bring it into the store to exchange for something. Or maybe trying to buy something online and that stock is not available, Does the system actually check if any of the other store has this inventory and help to deliver it, or ask you to pay first and collect it in store? So that's basically cross-channel experience. And some businesses can do it. They're already there, ready. Some businesses can't because, again, in front of all these channels that they're operating, at the back, it's all separated. It's in silos, or the systems are not talking to each other. And even if they're talking to each other, they might not be talking to each other real time.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
Yeah, so
you snapped the words out of my mouth. What about real time and
yeah,
lag of conversation?
I could return the good to a store, right, and say, can you process the refund immediately? Say, okay, we can't. We'll inform you in 5 days' time, because they were just a collection center. It's still going back to
and they have no authority even
to
talk about refunds and the like. That would be dealt with another team and so on.
Correct. So a lot of times we put humans behind all these processes to make it as seamless as possible. But if you have a unified system, meaning your online systems are talking to your stores are talking to the agentic AI, and social commerce, all right, they are sharing the same inventory, or they even provide the same experience. When I say same experience is, if I collect points online, right, I should be able to use it in the store, or vice versa. Or if I buy something online, I should be able to go into the store and say, hey, this product isn't good. Can I return it? There's a 7-day return policy, and can I exchange it straight away? So from the survey, businesses actually reported consumers who were allowed to return goods in store actually end up spending more when they were exchanging it or returning the goods in the store. So I think that's what consumer appreciates, right? Nowadays, consumer don't just want to buy the product. They want to be able to relate to the brand. They want to be able to have a good experience with the brand. That is also why some of these retailers you're seeing, they have an ice cream shop in their retail store. Decathlon, you can just play basketball and play ping pong. It's experiential, right? Because they let you try the product, and then you can buy it and live with it. If you walk into a Sephora, they have small little salons in every corner now, whereby you can try out some makeups and all. And
or me as a father can sit down and my daughter tries out all the makeup. So it's quite convenient for
So I think in Singapore, one of the brands that we work with, Love Bonito, actually has a parent area. So the father is actually sitting down there with the kids while the wife is trying out all the clothes.
Yeah, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 areas before we conclude our conversation. Clearly, the market is adapting it and adopting it. Clearly, the providers and the sellers are all for it. The 2 areas I want to talk about is, number 1, infrastructure readiness, and how much do you think that businesses are ready to invest in. That's one area. Another area is in terms of talent, and how does talent readiness stack up against market and industry needs, considering that this is a trend, and by the looks of it, it's an unstoppable trend right now. So where do we stand from your point of view when it comes to these 2 elements?
Okay, so on the first part, we did ask a question during the survey, and more than 50% of the businesses say they are already investing into bringing in better experience in the store. So from my observation, international brands, they are able to scale much better, because one same technology that they implement, it could be rolled out to multiple countries. So that's how Adyen has been working with a lot of the international brands. The moment you see a Uniqlo in Europe having a self-checkout kiosk, then you see it in Singapore, you see it in Malaysia. It's an economy of scale. They're able to scale up much faster. So you will see international brands who have much more centralized strategy to roll out these technology much faster, because again, cost is more optimized. They are sharing the cost among the countries. Then you see the much more locally operated brands, right, whereby they would be very much leveraging on good partners to implement that. Because as a retailer, I'm good at what I do. I can sell products, but I don't necessarily have 20 IT people behind me advising me what kind of solution and system to implement. It's a bit more heavily reliant on my point of sales partner, reliant on my e-commerce partner, or even reliant on payment partners like us to make sure that the systems get unified. So it's an ongoing topic. I was at the e-commerce and retail summit last week, and what I hear from a lot of leaders on the retail side is they are looking into it. But again, it is an industry that has been around for a while, right? Changes, I think one of the CDO actually quoted that it's not a digital transformation project. is actually a business transformation project. Everything we change on the system impacts our people, impacts our operation, impacts every part of the business. So
cost structure, you name it, yeah.
So I think the advice is not to look at it as an IT project anymore. It's more like a business transformation, right? How do you want to serve your customer in the future, or how do you want to serve your customer in the next 5 years? That initiative had to start now, and it can start in very small ways, whereby different parts of the system gets changed. Retraining and repurposing of your frontline staff is important. I think a lot of the store staff who join enjoy serving customer rather than learning how to manage a point of sale system or learning how to troubleshoot the payment terminal and all. Their forte is basically serving the customer, understanding the product, advising them. So I think they will appreciate it the moment technology comes into play, whereby it helps to streamline operations. It helps to serve customer better by I think real-time data is something that we see going to happen much more in future. You can see there's a lot of digital initiative to implement e-invoice the last couple of years. So that you will also start seeing a lot of retailers moving their solution from being on-prem to being more cloud-based.
Yes.
And when it's cloud-based, real-time data flow is much more possible.
And the talent element?
And on the talent side, I think, I would say on AI is still very new, right? We do need to invest into more people with AI expertise, right? And I think regardless what kind of resources we have or we don't have now on the retail sector or on the payment sector, what's important is to have people who are passionate about it. They understand how they want to serve the customer. Because at the end of the day, technology, whether it's AI or just operational efficient systems and all, is here to serve a purpose. And it cannot be an IT-driven project whereby, hey, we're going to do this, and this, but actually consumers and also the staff didn't ask for it or didn't say that this is a problem statement. So again, we need resources who are well familiar with what retail is doing and where retail is going, who understand what consumer needs are and how that need is evolving through multiple channels, through unified commerce. Then they have a case of understanding, okay, what kind of solution I need to put in place in order to serve my customer better.
Thank you very much. That was Soon Yean Lee, the Adyen Malaysia Country Manager. If you want to learn more, just head on to Astro AWANI and find out more there. Until then, thanks very much for watching. Catch you in the next one.